Hi, today is September 13th, 2025, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1420 for the year, Green Bunny. The green bunny was hopping along East 36th, pretty close to where someone had carved Devo on the sidewalk, and it stopped just in front of my building and just sat there as if it were a green plastic bag full of dog shit, which, come to think of it, is probably what it was. What probably happened was somebody cleaned up after their dog and then tied the green bag to make it look like bunny ears and left it by my building so that it would look like there was a green bunny posing for a picture, which I took. Poem number 1421, Embarrassed by His Underwear. I could tell by his demeanor that he was embarrassed by his underwear. His visible outerwear was ordinary and acceptable. He had no reason at all to be embarrassed by his outfit, but he seemed to be mortified by his infit, which is a word I just invented. Maybe his underwear had holes in it, or green bunnies on it. Maybe he was wearing garanimals, or maybe his underwear said Tuesday on it, and here it is Saturday. That would be embarrassing. It would be disturbing, actually. Unfortunately, I was unable to get to the bottom of this, but perhaps it's just as well. In fact, I don't think I want to think about this anymore. Poem number 1422, Agendum. Imagine my joy when I looked up the word agendum to see if in fact it was a word, only to discover that it was and is in fact a word. Never mind, it's not possible. You couldn't possibly imagine my joy. Next time I'm at a meeting with an agenda and the person running the meeting says, okay, the next item on the agenda, I will have the option of saying out loud or silently saying to myself, you don't have to say item on the agenda. You can just say agendum. Poem number 1423, Garcia joke. Frank Messina told me about the time he met Jerry Garcia. Frank said to Jerry, I've been to 150 Grateful Dead shows. And Jerry said to Frank, I've got you beat. I've been to them all. Poem number 1424, When I'm Introduced. Sometimes I don't like it when I'm introduced to someone I don't like, and sometimes I do. Sometimes a new person who I don't like can teach me about myself, which can be a little unpleasant. But sometimes a new person who I don't like can bring out my pettiness and sense of superiority, and I can simply enjoy those feelings. And, is this the last poem of the day? No, two poems. Poem number 1425, The Joy. The joy of learning a new word, or of making a new enemy. The joy of baking, of seeing things rise properly. The joy of thinking to oneself, or of making a painting that serves as a map of one's interior world. The joy of thinking things up and putting things down and looking at things and then maybe putting those things away for later. There really are so many ways to experience joy, but all those things add up to one thing, which, for lack of a better word, can simply be called the joy. And last poem of the day, poem number 1426, The Toy. The Toy is a film that sounds so bad that even though it stars Richard Pryor and Jackie Gleason, I have never been able to bring myself to see it. In the film, Gleason tells his son he can have anything he wants for his birthday. The boy wants Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is the boy's toy. The film gets a rating of 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, and although that's the lowest Rotten Tomatoes rating I've ever heard of, it still seems high to me. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.